Okay, so what we're going to talk about in this video is major scale positions concerning the basic theory of them. So you kind of have an idea of where they sort of come from. And again, this is strictly from the guitar player's perspective. So we're going to start with the basics. So here are the bare bone basics of the major scale positions. So what we have here in front of us is the guitar neck. It's blank right now. So with respects to major scales, they're constructed from from notes. In Western music, we have a system that provides us with 12 chromatic notes. So if we were to play all 12, they would look like this. They're all what we call a half step apart or semitone step apart, which means if I move from, let's say from here, that's my first note, and I go one step or one fret, that would equal one half step or one semitone. Again, anywhere on the neck, on one string, if I move from here one fret and I move to there, that is a half step. Okay, that's the smallest unit, a distance that you can have in Western, in the Western music tradition. So if I were to move from here to here, that's 2 frets. That's called a whole step. Okay, or a tone. It's referred to as a tone too. But again, anywhere, if I move from here to here, that's 2 frets, right? 1, 2, right? That's 2 frets. That is a whole step. Okay, so the major scale, alrighty, is a combination of different distances of these whole steps and half steps. And I'm just going to show you what it is. So if this is my starting position, which is known as the tonic, with a T, tonic, would go like this. It would go from here, tone, tone, semitone, okay, tone, 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 and to finish it off, we repeat the starting note, which is a semitone. Okay? So that is the major scale pattern. So if I were to reveal to you in the key of C, because that's what this is, you'll see that all these white circles will actually have notes pop in them. So I'm just going to reveal it right now. Oops. There you go. So C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Okay. If I were to pick a different starting note, let's say this note here, and repeat that same pattern, it's the same pattern, right? You'll see that. Well, let's see what happens. I'm going to show the key C up again, and notice it doesn't fit. If you look at the top string there, it goes F, G, A. Well, we're missing a note. C, D, E, F. Okay, so that starting note, in that case, is the F. Shows that something needs to be changed. It's not adhering to the formula. Okay, so what do? Well, we alter the key signature for that. I know it gets a little technical when you say these things, but once I make the change, oh look, it's B flat now, right? Right there's that B flat. And if you look at the previous string, C, D, E, F, G, A, oh, B flat, oh, see, so it's altered. Okay, so that formula no matter where you put that starting note, which is this guy, right? Wherever you put that starting note, as long as you adhere to this formula that you see on the top line, you will always get the correct major scale. Okay, there you go. So I'm not going to get into the theory because I'm assuming that by now, if you really wanted to know some of the theory behind the major scale in detail, I mean, it's not much out there. You can easily find that stuff on the net. So if you need to understand what key signatures are, go look it up. You'll find out. This is just a generic overview, right? Like a really quick one. So this formula here is the formula that we're going to use to get our fingering positions from. Okay. So let's change this and go to the bottom string here, which is the 6th string. So each of these notes we can analyze them, and this is when you analyze them, it's like we're giving them a specific sort of, I don't know, kind of like a title, you know, on how to reference them. So no matter what key we're in, we can always reference the same position. So in the scale. So the first note there, F, is the tonic, T. The second note, G, obviously it's going to be the second, right? Or we call it the second degree, right? The third degree is A. B flat is the 4th degree, and so on. 5th degree is C. D is the 6th degree. 7, right? The 7th degree is going to be E, and then finally tonic, to repeat for the starting note again. Okay, so anytime, let's say in this case from the key of F, anytime I say the 3rd degree, you're going to know that that 3rd degree right there is going to be A all the time. Okay. Anytime I say what's the 6th degree in the key of F, what's it going to be? Okay, I hope you said D. So that's what these degrees are important for, and the way they help us is that this is how we're going to derive the names of the fingering positions. Now, each one of these degrees, like tonic, can also be referred to as the 1st degree, but each one of these degrees actually has an associated what we call mode with it. And a mode is just a different scale that's contained within the major scale that when you play, let's say, the 2nd degree here, that 2nd degree all the way up to the 2nd degree, that's going to be called a certain mode. In this case, it's going to be called Dorian. Oops. And each mode has a certain sort of a unique tension value, if you will, an emotional quality to it that that's used essentially during composition and things like that. But these fingerings kind of line up. Well, they do. They line up with the degrees, and each of these numbers are called scale steps, right, or degrees. And each of these degrees has an associated mode, which I kind of alluded to, and it also has a chord designated with each of those starting notes. Okay, so those are two important things. It has a mode associated with it, and it has a chord associated with it as well. Okay, so those are the basic things that you need to sort of understand really quick, or at least have a certain idea when it comes to learning the major scale. So if we were to take that formula again and rearrange it, this is what would happen. So F, G, A, we take that B flat, we move it over here, take the C, move over to here, and you see where I'm going with this, right? There you go. So all these positions are just a rearranging of the scale degrees of the formula, so that we can fit it in a chunk, a small area of the guitar neck, so we don't have to keep playing all the way up and all the way down on one string. Okay, so and this just happens to fall where F is the first note, and this is called the tonic position. So I think I went on long enough. That this is just a quick, hopefully a quick intro to where we're getting these basic positions, where they're from. And now the next video is going to be about how we can, from each of those scale degrees, how each of the 7 basic positions will look.